Today, I'm gonna replace this old original radio with a new $100 stereo to see if it's worth the money. And since installing a stereo is the same for every car, it's something anybody could do on their own with little to no experience. The first step is to remove all overlapping pieces, and honestly, this is the hardest part due to how carefully everything needs to come off. And once the radio is out, a new stereo and a stereo kit is everything that is needed to install, because inside the kit, there's two adapters that plug and play onto the original harness. But just like the kit, inside the box, there's also a stereo harness that needs to be wired onto the adapter according to the color of the wires. Thankfully, there's instructions showing exactly what color goes to what. So the next step is to take it over to the workbench to connect them. But to keep it simple, each wire is color coded, which means that the red wire will go with the other red wire, yellow to yellow, black to black, etc. And surprisingly enough, those three colors are the most important wires on the harness because they're the power wires. So that means that once they're connected, you can easily test it by plugging in the stereo to see if it turns on, which it does. So the only thing left to do now is to take it back to the bench to connect the speaker wires in the same color to color fashion. But sometimes there is wires like these twisted wires or this remote control wire that don't amount to anything, so I just make sure they're capped off. Now I have been putting shrink tubing over the butt connectors, but that's just for extra protection and to make it look cleaner. It's not necessary. Regardless, with the harness completely wired, it's time for the final step of the installation, modifying the brackets to make it fit inside this MR2. And the way to modify it is to follow the directions on the paper by cutting the tabs it says to cut. And after removing the unwadded tabs, I pulled out the mounting sleeve and tried from all sides and angles to mount on the stereo. But after trying like 20 different times, I realized that it wasn't gonna work. So I just ended up using the original mounting brackets from the old radio, and it worked out perfect. So I connected and screwed in the new stereo in place before putting all the plastic back where they belong. The only issue I ran into was that there was a small gap underneath the pocket, and after calling 3 stereo shops, it turns out that although the kit says it fits a variety of Toyotas, there are some Toyotas such as older Camrys and the MR2 that it does not fit. So now I have to order a universal pocket from eBay if I want to eliminate the gap. But all in all, after putting everything back together and turning on the car, the stereo worked exactly like it should, and I could now drive listening to my favorite music.
Yeah. Hey girl, I can lick it, I can rock.